So if you didn't know, Spotify actually has a platform called Spotify Ad Studio where you can run ads directly inside of Spotify to people on the free tier of their plan. And you can even target specific music artists to run your ads in between songs that are playing by them. You can target certain playlists, certain moods and stuff. And so I've tested this in the past, and the conclusion in the past was that it was a horrible platform and not to use it. But recently I ran about $150 of a test campaign so I could show you how it went. So you can decide for yourself if it's worth it for you to use it. All right, so let's just dive right in. This is Spotify Ad Studio. If you just go to ads.spotify.com, you can go there and make an account. It doesn't cost anything to make an account, but of course you spend money on the actual ads that you are spending. Let me adjust my screen a little bit here. So it's broken up just like Facebook ads. If you're familiar with Facebook ads, you have campaigns, ad sets, and ads. It's exactly the same thing, essentially. So these are 3 different campaigns I ran in the past, and these I was incredibly disappointed with. And you can watch, I'll link up here if there's a video or playlist that you can go check out how these went. But they were basically awful. Like this campaign, I spent $250 and I reached 164 people. So, which is like so much worse than Facebook ads. It's even worse than TikTok ads. So I recommended avoiding it. I tried it again with a video campaign. I think it was for chains actually. And I sent people to a playlist, spent $250, got 4 listeners. That was when they just announced or added their video capability. I did it again for my campaign Fire, targeted pop artists in the USA, spent $167, get 6 listeners, same kind of deal, like horrible. And then we get to this new campaign that I launched for my alternative metal band, Every Waking Moment, and our song Come Alive, just to test it out. So I ran a good amount of tests. I don't want to say this is extensive, but 5 different audiences. And in terms of budgets, not big dollars here, $12, $57, $43, $8, and $79 respectively. And I tested Spain, UK, USA, and Mexico, and I also did a mix of audio ads and video ads to try to get a good idea of how this stuff performs. So first I want to show you the ad. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go inside of this Spain vertical video bands, and I'm going to click on this, and then I'm just going to show you this video here.
Are you into alternative metal and modern hard rock? Check out Come Alive by Every Waking Moment.
So yeah, that's the song. As you can see, there's a talking segment over it because what I did and what you have to do for audio ads is you have to have a voiceover, and you can film it you can record it yourself, but you can also have Spotify record it for you. So what I did in these audio ads is I did an audio one, I did a couple audio ones, and I asked them to record a voiceover. I gave them the script, I picked the type of voice actress in this case, and she recorded it and sent it back to me, essentially. And then for the video, what I did is I got our lyric video and just swapped out the audio with the audio that I got from Spotify. And that's how I made the video here. So pretty easy stuff. Let's look at the numbers, and I guess let's focus on UK artists first. Well, so it's UK, Mexico, USA. That's the order. If I get the budget spent, and this might be a little tricky to show while on screens because it's not wide enough, but UK is at the bottom. UK audio, $79, 42 new listeners. So we're still at like the almost $2 per listener point of view. So very, very bad. But crazy thing here, we're getting 8.36 streams per listener. So that portion is actually incredibly good. Now, if we were to go into this audience and view the report on this ad, we need to go back. I'm never familiar with Spotify Ad Studio's interface here. We need to go to the ad sets, and I'm looking for UK artist view report. So this gives us a little more data. Not too much more data, but we get the total number of ad spend, $79. We get our bid cap. That's just something when you make the campaign you have to specify. The completion rate, people who completed the ad, we get kind of, I think I stopped this after maybe a week or so, and then this is just kind of stuff happening after. Or no, this is the whole campaign, I guess. But if we go down here, you can see how like the ad stopped on the 20th. And then there's still all this stuff that happens afterwards for like another week and a half or so. That's typical of any ad campaign. What's kind of weird to me is that it dramatically stops one day completely. So I don't know exactly why. Maybe it just stops tracking. But we do see our listeners, conversion rate, new listeners, conversion rate, average streams, and an intent rate. This is like a combination of saves and playlist ads. So this is actually a pretty good intent rate. So, you know, one kind of thing that we've learned from this is that it's, at least with the way I'm running this, we're getting really, really expensive costs per listener acquisition, right? Like more than $1 in every case, in all the other audiences. And we'll take a look at another one. But we're getting a really high stream per listener count. Now, I am sending them to a playlist, so that helps. And we're getting a pretty good intent rate. So it means the quality of listeners you're getting from this is actually good. Like, that's a good metric. But it's just the cost is so high. So, you know, what you could do is if you can test enough campaigns to figure out how to get a good cost, you're going to get really, really good data. And so then, it, you know, even if it's more expensive than Facebook ads or even TikTok ads, then at least if the data is really good, you might have a use case for it, right? And you get all this other data down here, like gender splits, platform splits, and age splits. I'm actually surprised how many 13 to 17-year-olds there were in this. So yeah, let's go back up. I'm going to go back to the campaign level. And we can go back. I hate how they do this, but you have to like go back in to just show these. So let's look at one of these video ones. And we use the UK as an example. We spent $57 and we got 38 new listeners. So about, this one went a little better actually. If you were to do the math on listeners per dollar, this one is a little bit less. It's still over $1. It's like $1.50 or something, if my mental math is correct. But pretty bad, but better than the audio one. And we can do the exact same comparison. I'm not going to bore you with the details because it's the same, but you can see the streams per listener count is still very high. It's not an 8, but it's like a 6. And I would assume that the intent rate, and I guess we will just take a quick peek at it, because I'm sure some of you are interested. Similar kind of graphs here. We can go, actually right here, intent rate. Yeah, pretty much the same. It's like a third of all the people that hear the song are saving it or adding it to a playlist, which again it's not as good as Facebook ads, but it's still quite good, right? It's much better than playlisting, like 10 times better than playlisting. But if we were to look at Mexico, right? I tried Mexico because it's a cheap country generally to run ads to. You can do a much lower CPM bid. We only were able to spend $8 here. For some reason, they couldn't find enough people in the genre of music, the artist I was targeting, to spend my full budget, which was disappointing because we had 5 listeners for $8. So this so far is the best like listener per dollar. It's still bad, it's still over $1, but it's better than the other ones. Now I didn't realize here, but we can see the intent rates here. Mexico had a 40% intent rate, and the only one that had a bad one was this top one. So generally you're looking at like a 30 to 40% intent rate, which is again quite good. Our streams per listener in Mexico was only 3.6, but we're dealing with such small numbers here that I wouldn't be surprised if this got better if we could actually force more money through it. I could have tried Brazil. I could have tried other countries that typically work with ads, but you know I had tested UK and US and Mexico. So now let's look at Spain, just so you have those numbers. That was more than $2 per listener. Now, I think it's worth noting here that while I tested a good amount of variables, video, audio, different countries, and I think I did the same artists in these cases. I might have mixed them up a little bit between some of them, but they're pretty much the same bands I was targeting for all of them. I probably should have done a test where I'd let it run for like a full month or something, because these probably all ran like a week. Some maybe had run for 2 weeks at most. Typically, ad platforms get better and better at optimizing as the campaign runs. And so in a perfect world, I might have tested maybe 5 different countries, made the budget long enough where it could spend, you have to set a $250 minimum budget. However, what you can do is you can make that timeline as long as you want, and you can turn it off whenever you want. So you could have a $250 budget spread over 2 months, knowing that you're going to turn it off in a month and have a $125 budget. Do that for 5 audiences, and you have a $600 and something dollar campaign. And you could stop it early, of course, and turn things along the way. But that would give us data to see if Spotify gets better at optimizing the more days that it runs and the more data that it collects. And I could, of course, have tried a different song. Maybe metal is just tough. But this is the best result I've had on this platform, I think. And it's still pretty bad. So in general, I would say Spotify Ad Studio, probably not worth it your time for most of you watching. But, you know, you've seen the data, you might have a use case for it, and you might be able to get better results than I did. So if you'd like to see what I actually use to promote my music, you can check out this video right here where I show how I run Facebook conversion ads to promote my music on streaming services. And if you prefer a more organized course on that exact topic, I do have my course linked right here called Spotify Growth Machine. You get my country spreadsheet, my placement targeting, a whole bunch of videos that describe the process, and a community where you can ask questions. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next video. Bye.